Long before the age of humans, the Norse believed the universe was filled with mysterious worlds, powerful beings, and forces beyond imagination. Among these realms stood Asgard, the legendary home of the gods, where powerful warriors and rulers of mythology lived. At the center of Asgard was Odin, the All-Father, a god who searched for knowledge and understood that destiny could not be avoided. Thor, the god of thunder, became the protector of the realms, using his mighty hammer to defend the world from chaos. But among the gods lived Loki, a clever and unpredictable figure whose actions would change the fate of everything. Ancient prophecies warned that one day even the gods would face an unstoppable battle known as Ragnarök. The prophecy spoke of a terrible winter, a time when darkness would spread and the balance of the world would begin to break. As the endless cold arrived, humans struggled to survive while the signs of the coming disaster appeared everywhere. From the shadows came ancient creatures of legend, symbols of the destruction that was slowly approaching. Loki, once connected to the gods, was imprisoned because his actions had placed the future of the worlds in danger. But destiny could not be stopped forever. The chains that held Loki would eventually break, bringing chaos back into the world. Across the lands, giants and powerful enemies gathered their armies, preparing for the final battle against the gods. A massive ship crossed the dark oceans, carrying the forces that would challenge the old order of the universe. Fire and destruction began spreading across the realms as the final age approached. The gods prepared their weapons, knowing this would be their greatest battle, and possibly their last. The battlefield of Ragnarök became the place where legends, monsters, and gods would collide in a war unlike anything before. Thor entered the fight with his mighty hammer, facing enemies with the power of the thunder and lightning. Odin led the warriors of Asgard into battle, knowing that even he could not escape the fate written in the prophecy. Above the battlefield, the Valkyries carried the spirit of ancient warriors into the final conflict. The enemies of the gods reached Asgard, bringing destruction to the home of the legendary beings. Odin faced the mighty wolf Fenrir in a battle that represented the struggle between fate and power. Thor fought the enormous world serpent as storms and waves covered the earth. A giant force of fire entered the battlefield, bringing the final destruction of the old world. Asgard, the home of the gods, burned as the golden halls and ancient structures collapsed into flames. The battlefield became silent as warriors fell, and the age of the old gods came to an end. The world was covered in darkness, ash, and destruction after the great battle. The oceans rose and the old lands disappeared beneath the waves, marking the end of an ancient era. But beyond destruction, a new beginning slowly appeared. A quiet world emerged from the darkness, waiting for life to return. New lands rose, forests grew again, and the world began healing after the great disaster. The survivors walked across the reborn earth, carrying the memory of the world that was lost. The ruins of the old gods slowly disappeared as nature reclaimed what remained. A broken hammer rested among flowers, showing that even the greatest powers can become legends of the past. The sun returned over the new world, bringing light after the endless darkness. A new civilization began, proving that life continues even after the greatest destruction. The story of Ragnarök was not only about the end, but also about the cycle of creation and rebirth. The battlefield that once witnessed destruction slowly became a peaceful land again. The statues of ancient gods remained as memories of a forgotten age. The halls of Asgard stood empty, showing that even the homes of gods can fall. The new world continued to grow, carrying the lessons of the past into the future. The throne of Odin remained abandoned, a symbol of power that could not last forever. Weapons and armor were left behind as reminders of the final war. The ruins of Asgard stood beneath the sunset, marking the end of an extraordinary era. From above, the new world showed that life had survived beyond the fall of the gods. And as the sun rose over the reborn Earth, the old legends faded away, leaving behind one final message. Even the greatest powers can fall, but from every ending, a new beginning can rise.